speaking of the Nintendo NX, any new rumors on that?
Yeah, I read an article, a new rumor on that, and if this is true, it's going to make me cry little baby Jesus tears. Um, the NX apparently, rumor is scuttlebutt has it, heavily take this with a gallon of salt. Um, is apparently going to be on par with the Xbox One.
Can I just
And
stop you? That's the second time you've unit of measurement for salt. It would be measured in either grams or tablespoons. So volume, like, don't use volume, just use weight. I'm sorry.
Just use weight. What?
A pound of salt.
A pound of salt?
three
Oh,
three
sorry.
cubic centimeters of salt.
Thank
Okay,
you, thank
Matthew
you.
Matherson.
Matthew
Take,
Matherson.
Matthew
take that with,
Matherson.
yeah, take that with, yeah, milligrams of salt.
Anyway,
Take
no.
this with, take
No.
this with 475 milligrams of sodium.
Call me in the morning.
Oh god, we gotta do
Sorry,
that.
go
We
ahead.
gotta review that movie one day. Um, it'll be great. Um,
Salt?
no, he said and call me in the morning. I thought he was referencing Batman and Robin. Um,
Oh shit!
Ooh, no, that would be a good review.
yes, that would be a fantastic one.
Oh, you mean the best Batman movie ever?
The best Batman movie ever if it's opposite day. So, no, this would be a terrible thing, I think, for the NX because the NX, from what they're all speculating, I want it to be 2017, but more than likely the NX will come out at the end of 2016. And if that's the case, and you're just on par with the Xbox One, which is technically the weaker system in this generation compared to the PS4. And
Let's just all listen to Donovan. Hold on. Oh, you never mind.
but I was gonna say, which is technically the weaker system, and your system's going to be out for 2 to 3 years, and then it's going to have to compete with a PS5 and an Xbox Two. God, don't name it that, Microsoft. But the next Xbox. I was gonna say, it to me just seems a really bad idea because you're just gonna be in the same boat as you were with the Wii U. You know, you're
Well, see, I mean,
Or really smart. I mean, that's the thing with Nintendo is they've done okay with the Wii, but the Wii U has not been a huge success. But isn't it a good
they
idea
didn't
to
do okay with the Wii. They dominated with the Wii. I'm
right?
pretty sure they outsold the PS3 and the 360, which is
Right.
actually the point I was about to make. Is that I mean, yeah, they need to upgrade their hardware, and yeah, them at that time being only on par with the Xbox One, that is kind of bad. But Nintendo hasn't ever really been known for being a hardware powerhouse. They're more,
yeah.
Right.
substance. I mean, Wii U aside, like with the Wii, it was extremely gimmicky. Normally that would fail, but Nintendo kind of has a history of making gimmicky things work.
Yeah.
And
Right.
the Wii wasn't even in HD. It didn't even have HD. It was still, low def, and it outsold both the graphically powerhouse systems that were the 360
But
and the PS.
it was
Price
also
point,
much
too.
cheaper though.
Yeah, price point is like
Exactly.
$200.
That's my
So,
point. It was cheaper, had more access to it, and now, no matter how debatable the worth of the content is, it had a lot more content on it. Now, it might not have been good content, but they had more, and they had more exposure, and that's what won them. That's what caused them to win the previous generation. And so, them being not up to par with the next gen consoles might not necessarily be a bad thing for them. That's part
Right,
of the course.
Here's
and
one
we
thing
were
you gotta
just talking
consider,
about
though.
that. We were just complaining about how you could just, if you want graphical capabilities, you want hardware, just buy a gaming PC. Nintendo might be looking at it the same way. We're not selling a PC, we're selling a game machine. And even though it's only on par with the last generation of consoles, guess what? It has a better gaming experience because we're fucking Nintendo.
Keep in mind, though, the Wii was, for the most part, a companion system. Meaning,
Yeah.
people who owned a Wii usually owned a PS3 or a 360. If you do look at the numbers, yeah, the Wii sold more than them. They sold like 100 million. And I think the PS3 and the 360 are still like in the mid 80s, 80 million.
Yeah.
That extra 20, 30 million that the Wii sold were to grandmas, to soccer moms, people who are never going to buy another system again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They
And
marketed properly.
yeah,
I mean,
they
if they can
marketed
repeat
properly.
that,
Yeah, they marketed,
you
but
know,
I don't want it to be overly I don't think it needs to be overly powerful than the next gen systems, but I think if you're because Nintendo's little track here, it seems like they're not going to be releasing with Microsoft and Sony. They're going to be like in the middle of the
There's
generation.
never going to be a fully rendered, like, realistic Mario game where it's like you can see the hair follicles of his mustache. That would be horrifying.
That knowing
Like some
knowing
well-known voice actor.
knowing
Danny DeVito.
Miyamoto, knowing Miyamoto, he would make a game where you're just crawling around on the hair follicles as Mario.
Yeah.
And you know what would be crazy? We would buy it and love it. So,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But no,
Well,
what
I mean,
what I mean
as
by
long as
that
they make
though was,
a game tie-in for the Emoji Movie, I'll be happy.
okay, yeah. No, I was gonna say, but what I was saying about the I don't think that they should be, you know, way more powerful, but it's at a point now where those parts that are in the Xbox One and the PS3 are fairly cheaper now, so it is cheaper just to be you could even be slightly more powerful than say the PS4, but you need to make sure your system can at least compete with the next Sony and Microsoft console for a couple of years till you bring out your next one. And it puts them in a position where their console, not only is it a gaming focused console, but you're going to get the AAA third-party titles on that system.
Yeah.
See, since
it has to be capable of supporting third-party titles.
Yeah, which hurts them. So if they, I mean, Nintendo can survive on their first party, yes, but that's what I mean by they need to make sure that it's powerful enough is so they can bring that third party in. Because the only way
I think that's I think that's where the Wii U kind of fell short. Every time I've ever been anywhere looking at Wii U games, I don't recall ever seeing a lot of third party titles on the Wii U.
The first year they ported a bunch of 360 titles to it. I have one right here. Let me grab it real quick.
That's what she said.
Here it is. Ninja
Let's
Gaiden
talk about
3.
him behind his back, 2-Bit Judas. Okay.
Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden 3. Which, by the way, this is... I played a little bit of this. Let me expand it. This is awesome.
Oh, yes, I have heard nothing but fantastic things about Xenoblade Chronicles.
Xenoblade is awesome. Anyway, but I think that that's what they need to do is... I'm not looking for it to be, like, way more powerful, but at least make it on par or slightly more powerful than the PS4, and that way, at least when the next gen comes in, you can still get those AAA, third parties on your system too to compete until you come out with your next one that's going to be more powerful than Sony and Microsoft's. Slightly more powerful. So at least in this, if they do it this way, they're actually staying slightly ahead. As opposed
I think it's
to
good
being
though. I
behind.
think it's good to have a diversified market. I think it's not just about who's the most powerful system. It's about different strokes for different folks. The Nintendo does what they think gaming should be about well. And if Sony wants to integrate VR with the PlayStation 5 like we were talking about earlier, they should just make a VR system. You know what I mean? Something that would do VR but do it well. They're not just build a good headset and then try to force feed it onto the PlayStation 5. It should be PlayStation VR as a self-contained system with sort of like dedicated content that it does really well. And yes, there should be some crossover with their other products if they want to, but I think that that's the problem, and that's why I think the Steam machines are a good thing, because it's introducing competition. It's not just the big three anymore. I'm thinking this competition is going to move in, shake up the market. We're going to have, if you like streaming video games, we're going to have a great system where you can stream the games. If you like having physical copies of the games and social interaction, you can go with this system. If you want a VR experience, go with this system. It does VR better. I think it's a good thing that as long as we keep, if we keep supporting third-party sort of peripherals and we keep talking about it, I think that eventually we're going to get to a point where there's going to be a lot more choices and a lot more ways to enjoy gaming.
Also, also rumors the NX is they're combining two of their pillars, meaning their mobile and of course their console, Meaning, the rumor is the NX is you can take your controller on the go with you, and it doubles as your Game Boy, so to speak.
Right.
And you can still play your games on there.
Well, in that case, would Nintendo continue to sell DSs? So, I mean, that's another thing. It's like, would it be a game? Would it be a Wii U that is a DS? Well, they have a DS already, so why would they do that?
Well, see, I mean, here's the thing. It's like they're already blurring that line.
Yeah.
The Super Smash Brothers game that came out like last year, perfect example. You know, people who have it, like me, who have it on the Wii U, can still play it with a friend of mine who has it on the 3DS. He can come over and he just links up to my Wii U, plays it on his 3DS on his screen, and I'm playing on my screen, and they link up perfectly. And you know, it works.
Really?
They're already blurring that line.
Yeah, they've
What
been
the
doing it for
fuck?
a long
I've never
time,
heard
remember?
that's possible.
Yeah, it is. I was gonna say they've been blurring that line for so long. The GameCube, they were very much connectivity between the Game Boy Advance and the GameCube, and you could plug your Game Boy Advance into your GameCube. Hell, even back to the Super Nintendo, you got the Super Game Boy cartridge, and you could play your Super Nintendo
that's
games.
true.
So they've always been doing this, but I think from what I've heard, it looks like they're combining those two. So now you can take your game on the go with you, possibly. I don't think it's going to be exactly like the 3DS or the 2DS. I think it's going to be its own unique experience. But I do see them. We're about at that point, guys. This is about the cycle where they're going to start phasing out their current line of handhelds and going with their new one. Essentially how it is. But maybe they're combining console and that's going to be their new thing.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, Nintendo is kind of free to do whatever they want in the handheld market since they have virtually no competition there.